IDCA is leading the digital economy globally through our global positioning and working with many different countries across the globe. It takes cultural differences and divides in order to bring us together, oddly enough, so that as we work with other regions and other countries globally, we're able to understand the needs and wants and value propositions of different cultures so that we can adapt, adopt, and have cross-functional utility with all of those different entities. IDCA is unlike anyone else in this industry in that IDCA is a global entity. We don't focus on one particular area of the world. We actually take a very holistic approach in how we assess and analyze the entire global digital economy at scale. IDCA's industry vertical penetration covers many different layers. We do look at data centers as a starting point. However, the entire global digital economy is really made up of many pieces and parts. Like some others in the industry, we will look at things like topology and operations and how we bring those pieces together. But that's what differentiates us. We'll take 7 different layers of efficacy, evaluate that, and put all of that together to create one cohesive ecosystem for operational excellence. IDCA standards are the highest echelon of excellence in the industry. Our standardization doesn't just give a pass-fail criteria that's been developed through antiquated means and antiquated processes. We actually look at the evolving nature of what's happening and how this industry is coming to the next industrial revolution phase. We're looking at things like AI, operational excellence, the need for high-speed compute, and the reactionary processes that are going to be required not only to cool that, but also power that. So when we look at this layer of excellence within anybody's operational platform, we're really analyzing it, but then scoring it and grading it to how much risk is affiliated with that location and how well they're going to perform in times of crisis. We're leading the global standardization perspective by having 7 layers of efficacy by which we're holding everyone within the digital economy accountable to operational excellence. If we were only looking at 1 or 2 of these, like many others in the industry are, we're really selling ourselves short for the betterment of the position of the entire global digital economy. It's not enough anymore to just look at operations or just look at resiliency. The way that IDCA holds everyone in the industry accountable is through a grading system that we have evaluated as G0 through G4. Many other entities in the industry will provide a stamp or just a yes, no, a simple pass, fail. We'll actually look at how someone fits in the hierarchy for operational excellence. But if you think about our scale, conventionally 4 is good and 0 is bad. It's actually the opposite of us. And when we do this, we look at this from a perspective of risk. G0 being the smallest amount of risk, or 0 in essence, or G4 with more risk, but that still may be allowable for people to operate at a level by which they're going to provide their clients with their desired level of excellence. Not everybody needs to be held accountable at the same level of excellence, and IDCA does recognize that. The 7 efficacies that IDCA has established really focuses on operations, innovation, safety and security, availability, efficiency, capacity, and resilience. But the thing that's important about all 7 of these is that they're not looked at separated in silos or disparate. We look at how all of these 7 different layers of efficacy play well with each other across a stack of dynamics that exist within our industry. If we don't look at these in a cohesive unit holistically, we fail when they are separated. People should SDS certify their system, design, or service to achieve excellence within the industry from a third-party perspective. It's not enough to evaluate yourself and say that you're the greatest in the world unless somebody else would either agree with you or evaluate you to that level. There's no one else in the industry that's bringing systems, designs, or services to the forefront of our growing and emerging digital economy to evaluate them for a layer of excellence. It's the sum of these components that ultimately makes the entire digital infrastructure system and digital economy what it is today. To have an IDCA certification means that you have committed yourself to a level of excellence to operate in digital infrastructure at the highest echelon possible. You have chosen a path to understand, to speak in a way and understand our industry in a way that aligns with everyone else. you are either on a path of operational excellence or engineering excellence, and eventually can become a professional in the industry to guide others in leadership and operational performance, or ultimately supervisory skills. Our training is different than everybody else's because we've really evaluated what the entry point is and then where the critical layers of mission critical infrastructure rely in, both in operations and in engineering. Taking these down a separate path in the early phase of learning allows us to focus on these two components, but then later they meet in a path of progression to allow somebody to enter into a managerial or supervisory role within digital infrastructure. We refresh our material bi-weekly. As things start changing within digital infrastructure, advents like liquid cooling, nuclear power, power consideration and quality, when technologies advance in high-density compute and as AI evolves, these are things that we must be incorporating in our training to be cutting edge and up to date on the latest innovations within the industry. Companies need to be thinking about retention for employees as a benchmark for excellence. Many times we hear people saying, well, what if we train our people and they leave? Well, my response to that is, what if you don't train them and they stay? If you want to build the highest retention rate possible and not just securing new talent, you've got to keep your people up to speed, up to date, and up to the industry standards of knowledge that are held to the highest level of excellence. IDCA Advisory is a program that we created that's benchmarked off of our Technical Advisory Committee. We have some of the best in the industry. We only bring in A players globally across the entire world. In order to be the best advisors possible, we've pooled resources both in the community and professionally within our industry to provide the best knowledge base possible and a base layer of understanding for what people want, how they want to be excellent, and what eventually their goals will align to be forthcoming in the next advent of the Industrial Revolution. Organizations can benefit from our advanced advisory consultancy services by engaging with our Technical Advisory Committee and asking important questions that they can't answer themselves, or getting a broader reach of understanding across multiple people within the industry to gain different insights and different schools of thought for how they can achieve their goals and ultimately what they want to do to enter into the next advent of the Industrial Revolution. IDCA is the global standard by which all digital infrastructure and our entire global digital economy holistically are assessed, held accountable, and operate in an order of excellence that's commensurate with where we're heading in this next advent of our Industrial Revolution.